Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha. श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम सच्चिदानंद रूपाय कृष्णाय क्लिष्टकारिणे नमो वेदांत वेद्याय गुरवे बुद्धिसाक्षिणे कृष्णद्वैपायनं व्यासं सर्वलोकहिते रतं वेदाब्ज भास्करं वन्दे शमादिनिलयं मुनिं सहस्रमूर्तेः पुरुषोत्तमस्य सहस्रनेत्राननपादबाहोः सहस्रनाम्नां स्तवनं प्रशस्तं निरुच्यते जन्मजरादिशान्त्यै. So namaste once again everyone. So the last class, one small request, please mark your attendance. So last class, I think we completed with Vrishakriti, right? Vrishakriti. Vrisha, dharma itself is his akriti. He is in the form of dharma itself. Okay. So now we go to the next sloka. Rudro bahushira bhabruhu vishwayo nishuchishravah amritas shashvatastanuhu vararoho mahatapah. So this shloka again contains 9 namas. Okay. Rudraha bahushiraha babruhu vishwayonihi shuchishravaha amritaha shashvatasthanuhu vararohaha and mahatapaha. All very beautiful words, names. And beauty is all very short explanation only. All these doesn't require. Adi Shankara has also given very short explanation. Okay. So we'll see one by one. Rudraha. Rudraha has got 2 meanings. The one who causes tears and the one who removes tears also. And this is a very common thing, even Vigneshwara also is the one who causes vignas. And he is also the one who removes the vignas also. That is the speciality of Vigneshwara. Similarly, Rudraha also is the same, one who causes tears. Because Rudra Dhatu means to cry, right? Rodati. So the one who causes tears and the one who removes tears also. And that is what Adi Shankara says. Samhara kale prajaha samharan rodayati iti Rudraha. Rudram rati dadati va ruhu dukkham dukkha karanam va dravayati iti va rudraha rodanat dravanat vapi rudra iti uchyate. So rodanat and dravanat both causing and also removing. Okay. So samhara kale prajaha rodayati. He is Rudra because he is the one who makes people cry when he withdraws the entire, prapancha during pralaya. That power of converting in from manifest to unmanifest is what is called Rudra. The Devata for that is Rudra Devata. Sustenance is Vishnu Devata. And creation is Brahmaji, Brahma Devata. So Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, this Rudra is the Samhara Karana. Okay. Rud means sorrow. Okay. So Rudram Rati Dadati, because he gives grief. Why Samhara Karanam at Pralaya? Even when somebody is going to be withdrawn, in the sense of the body is going to be the body is going to die. Same thing, crying and sorrow is produced. That is all Rudra. Okay. So he is Rudra because he gives that grief. And he is not giving anything from his own. He is only giving the fruits of the actions rather. Even though it's a part of that, but still it causes grief, isn't it? I mean, anybody departing causes grief rather. So even otherwise also, he is the one who gives unpleasant situations also, which make people cry even while living. Okay. All because of karma phala dhata, papa karmas that they have done. So through all these things, he makes people cry, he gives grief, and that is why he is called Rudra. So he is Rudram. Ruhu means Dukkham. Dukkha Karanam Va. So Ru means, as I said, sorrow or its cause. Tam Dravayati iti Rudraha. He removes our sorrow, our tears and their cause, and so he is called Rudraha. So that is why, they say that chanting Rudra, Rudram Chamakam, doing Rudrabhisheka and all that is a way to please Rudra Devata so that he can remove the Dukkham, remove all the grief that comes into our lives rather because of our past karmas. Okay. And this Rudran and Chamakam is supposed to be the greatest Prayaschitta karma that anyone can do that. Okay. And it is said that even big papas can be removed by regularly chanting Rudra and Chamakam. Especially Rudra. Chamakam you can forget, especially Sri Rudram. If you regularly chant, it is capable of, if not completely removing, mitigating the effects of many papas. And of course, the name Rudra normally refers to Lord Shiva. Okay. But here, the same name is used for Lord Vishnu, which shows that, in essence, there is no difference between all these names. The essence is one and the same. Whether you call him Shiva, Vishnu, Brahma, whatever it is, everyone is deriving their respective powers from Ishvara, from Brahman only. Okay, Parameshwara only. So here, of course, he is invoked as Rudra in this Nama. Then Bahushiraha. Bahushiraha, Shiraha means head. The one who is with many heads, Bahushiraha. One who has many heads. Bahuni Shiramsi Yasyeti Bahushiraha. And then Adi Shankara very simply brings in Purusha Suktam. Sahasra Shirisha Purushaha iti mantra varnat. He did not worry too much. Straight away available, Purusha Suktam is available. Sahasra Shirisha Purushaha Sahasraksha Sahasrapat. The one who has got, actually Sahasram here literally means 1,000. But what we have to understand is Sahasram here refers to countless. He is the one with countless heads, countless eyes, countless feet. Why? Because he is the Prapancha, he is all. Every head of every being is Bhagavan's head. Every pair of eyes of every being is Bhagavan's eyes. Every pair of feet of every being is Bhagavan's feet. That is why everything is Bhagavan. There is only Bhagavan. That's why Swapuji Swamiji says there is only Ishvara. So if we learn to look at that entire cosmos with that eye or with that vision of that Vedic vision of being everything being Ishvara, understanding Bahushiraha is not a problem at all. Isn't it? So he is manifested every body and all heads are his heads. Everybody has a head, so all heads are his heads. And the head is actually a very important part of the body, isn't it? Head is the one which is having all important functions. If something goes wrong with the head, the whole body will be finished rather, isn't it? And this head is most important part of the body and most important part of the universe is Parameshwara. So the head can be compared to Parameshwara himself. And of course, every limb, every part of the body is also Parameshwara because he pervades everything. And here the Shira is specially mentioned because it is the Uttama Anga, right? Important part of the body. Now the question is, you say that he has got 1,000 heads and 1,000 feet, and now how can he be? We have seen that Ishvara, Parameshwara is found for recognition in the heart. How can this be in the heart, small place? Okay. Because Purusha Evedagum Sarvam is what it says. Yat Bhuta Yat Bhavyam, all past, present, everything. Everything is Purusha only. Purusha means Parameshwara. So, what we say is not physically present, he is available for recognition in the heart. That is how I say Purusha, everything is Purusha. Okay. He obtains in the heart. That is Bahushiraha. Then the next nama, Babruhu. Babruhu means the supporter. Bhibarti Loka Niti Babruhu. Babru is derived from the Bru Dhatu. Bru means to support, to nourish, even to protect meaning is also there, Bru Dhatu. So he is the one who supports and sustains everything. All the lokas, all 14 lokas, he is the one who supports and sustains. That is why he is Babruhu. And even in Sri Rudram, he is referred to as Babru. Babru Sumangalaha, he is referred to as Babru, he is referred to as Sumangalaha. So he alone supports this entire world in the form of Adivaraha, as Kurma, and even as Ananta. All these are all, the supporting roles. And they are all Vishnu's avatar. So again, Vishnu is called Babruhu because of that reason. He is a supporter and sustainer of this, all the 14 lokas. Then the next nama, Vishwa Yonihi. They're all very simple namas, very simple meanings. Vishwa Yonihi. Yonihi, means the womb. So he is the cause or the womb of the entire Jagat. Vishwasya Karanatvat Vishwa Yonihi. So Ishvara we have seen is both the Nimitta Karana and Upadana Karana of this entire cosmos, which is what? Intelligent cause and material cause. Ishvara means Brahman plus Maya. Okay, you have to remember that. So the whole world is born of Ishvara, and he is called, and that is why he is called Vishwa Yonihi. Whole Vishwa means born out of it. And we saw the description of that in detail when we saw the meaning of the mantra Hiranya Garbha Garbhastam Hema Bhijam Vibhavaso. Those of you who were there in that class, we can recall Vishwa Yonihi. Same idea is said here. Okay. Then next nama is Shuchishravaha. Shuchishravaha. The one with pleasant and purifying names. Shuchihi and Shravaha. Okay. Shuchini Shravamsi Namani Shravaniyani Asyeti Shuchishravaha, says Adi Shankara. Because Shravamsi says Namani, names. So the Lord has Shravamsi, the names that are pleasing, worthy of hearing rather. And the more we hear the Lord's name, the more pleasure we get. So when we hear the various names revealing the Lord, we find that all these words are very pleasant to hear. In fact, the whole Vishnu Sahasranama, when you chant, you get certain happiness, certain pleasure. Of course, you have to chant with Shraddha. Only, of course, people who have Shraddha only will chant. Other people will not, have they will not think of even chanting Vishnu Sahasranama. But those who chant regularly, they will, a feeling of contentment, a feeling of joy, a feeling of happiness it generates. Because every nama of Bhagavan contains that element of joy. So that is why he is Shuchishrava. And not only element of joy, they are all purity also. Every name is pure, Shuchihi. That is why it's called Shuchihi, pure. And that's why we say that for Chitta Shuddhi, one of the best karmas that you can do is chant Vishnu Sahasranama every day. And Vishnu Sahasranama is the easiest thing to chant. It doesn't require anything, no preparation is required. If you don't know Vishnu Sahasranama, all that you require is a book, small book of Vishnu Sahasranama. Otherwise, download it from the internet also. So many versions, English, Tamil, everything is available. The minimum we can do in our life, we don't need to go and light any altar, light a lamp. We don't need to use any puja material. Nothing is required to chant Vishnu Sahasranama. You can chant, only thing is sit in a place, take bath, be pure, physically pure, take bath, wear nice, washed clothes, sit on the floor. If not possible, sit on a chair. Don't sit on the bed and all that. If you are very sick and you want to chant Vishnu Sahasranama, the provision is there in the Shastra that you can chant Vishnu Sahasranama in the bed also. But that is a provision for sick people, not for ordinary people. I will get up and start Vishnu Sahasranama even before I brush my teeth. That is not the correct approach. Because everything, all namas are pure. First, we have to purify ourselves. And one of the things that one can do, if we have learned little bit of yoga, pranayama and all, before you chant Vishnu Sahasranama, do 10 Anulom Vilom Pranayama. Because when you do Anulom Vilom Pranayama, your mind, you are bringing it to concentration. When you concentrate on your breath, the breath going in and coming out. First through the left nose, then right nose, like that 5 rounds you do, 10 pranayamas. That will help in bringing the mind to a certain concentration. And then chant the Vishnu Sahasranama. That's the best way. And as I told you, one of the best sadhanas for Chitta Shuddhi is Vishnu Sahasranama. And you can see that Chitta Shuddhi means what? Basically, managing or diluting, I would put it, all kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. When you are able to sufficiently dilute all these ripus, these enemies, which actually give us all sorts of troubles in our life, if you are able to do that, Vishnu Sahasranama helps you in doing that. It's an excellent instrument for that. So that is why he is Shuchishravaha, both pure and very joyful names he has got. Okay. Then the next one is Amritaha. We some time ago saw Ajaha, who is not born. He is Amritaha, who has no death, no old age, nothing. He is Shashwataha. We also saw next is coming Shashwata Sthanu. Next Nama. So he has no decay, no death, no old age, nothing. Nor does he have any modifications. So Shrutis, the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Kaivalya Upanishad, they all talk about Ajaro Maraha. They say that's a word used. Ajaha Amaraha. So Amaraha, Ajaraha means not subject to. Ajaha means not born. Ajaraha means not subject to Jara, that is old age. And Amaraha means not subject to death. Immortal. So this is again, highlighting the essential nature of Ishvara, Satchidananda Swarupa of Ishvara, and based upon the Upanishad Pramana. Next is Shashvata Sthanuhu, the imperishable and firm. Shashvata means imperishable, ever, eternal. Sthanuhu means firm, can't be, doesn't move. That Shashvatascha asau sthanuhu cheti shashvatasthānuhu. Karmadharya samasa. Adi Shankara uses just to explain shashvatasthānuhu. Okay. He is Shashvata. One is always existence. That is, there is no beginning for him, no end for him. And he is also Sthanuhu. He is firm, with no change at any time. He cannot change because he is occupying everything. He is pervading everything. So there is no space for him. Any change involves a change either of space or time. He is the time, he is the space. So where can he move? He can't move anywhere. So he is Sthanuhu. He is steady. He is firm. And there is no growth or decay. From that angle also, we can take the thing as being in the same state always. Of course, this Shashvata and Sthanu, it's a samasa, they make one nama. Okay. Kutastha. Sthanu is another word used in the Shastra, is Kutastha. Okay. One who does not undergo any change. That is Shashvata Sthanu. Then Vararoha. Vararoha is the best ascent, the one for a human being, for a jiva, he is the best place to ascend to. Varamarohanam yasmin niti vararoha. Varaha aroha. Ankaha asyeti va. Arudhanam punaravritti asambhava. Why is best? Because once you reach the abode of Parameshwara, once you merge with the totality, some noise. Okay. Once you have merged into the totality, the individuality is completely gone. There is no rebirth. There is no coming back. Punaravritti nasti. That's what Adi Shankara says. Arohana means mounting. Because mounting a horse, that is called Arohana. Going up, even in music, in Carnatic music, you have got Arohanam, Avarohanam, right? Any Arohanam will involve Avarohanam. As they say, whatever goes up has to come down, isn't it? So in normal sense, any Arohanam will have Avarohanam. If you climb a horse, you will have to dismount the horse. You cannot stay on the horse forever. Whenever we get into a car, we have to get out of the car also, isn't it? So like that, every arohana, every ascent has to have a descent also. But Bhagavan is called Vararoha because Arohanam unto Bhagavan, unto Ishvara is Vara. Vara means the best and the ultimate. Having reached him, one does not want to return and one does not return also. He is the ultimate end. Isn't it? Ultimate goal. Arudhana punaravritti asambhavat, says Adi Shankara. Because there is no possibility whatsoever for return, for rebirth, for those who have gained the end, the moksha. And this is supported by Chandogya Upanishad. Nacha punara vartate, having reached it, one does not come back. Even in Gita, Bhagavan says, Yam prapya na nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. Bhagavan Krishna talks from his Swarupa point of view. From his Sachidananda Swarupa point of view, he says, Yam prapya na nivartante, once having reached, attained moksha, na nivartante, one does not come back. Tat dhama paramam mama, that is my abode, the supreme abode. That's what Bhagavan says in the Gita also. Okay. And of course, we must not misunderstand this achieving as physically traveling and all that. Achieving attainment in Vedanta is through knowledge only. It is a cognitive attainment. Understanding the essential nature of Ishvara through knowledge, understanding our own essential nature through the same knowledge, and understanding that there is actually no difference between Ishvara's essential nature and my essential nature. That is the ultimate knowledge. That is what the Vedanta, the Vedas say is moksha. Once that understanding comes, once that knowledge is gained, and once starts abiding in that knowledge, that is what is moksha. And once you have got moksha, there is no coming back to samsara. Samsara nivritti takes place completely when you realize that you are a moksha purusha. And that is where, as Pujya Swamiji says, when you reach that stage, you find that you have accomplished everything that you need to accomplish. There is nothing more to accomplish because this is the highest abode. You have reached that. What more? If you want to promote the President of India, what promotion you can give him? Because he has reached the highest constitutional position. There is no more position available beyond President. You can maximum give him one Bharata Ratna or something like that. That's all. Even Bharata Ratna is the President, is the constitution-wise, President is the one who confers the Bharata Ratna. On the advice, of course, of the government. So, once you reach that highest abode, there is nothing more to be accomplished, nothing more to be attained. Okay. So there is why he is Vararoha. And in fact, when you attain that stage, you become the altar of worship. You become one with Ishvara. Okay. So here again, there is a description. Aroha, the Anka, climbing onto which there is no getting down. That is also, which is the lap of Bhagavan. Anka means, right? So you can take the meaning also as Aroha means the Bhagavan on Adishesha, reclining place of Adishesha. I mean, again, from Puranas and all that, these meanings can be derived. But basic derivation is what we have seen, as it says, it is the moksha. Vararoha means attaining or ascending to the highest goal. What's that? The highest dhama, abode. That is Vararoha. Then Mahatapaha. Mahatapaha means here the word tapa has been interpreted by Adi Shankara as knowledge, right? So Mahatapa is the one with great knowledge. Mahat srijya vishayam tapaha jnanam asyeti mahatapaha, says Adi Shankara. So tapaha he interprets as jnanam. That meaning is there also there. Yasya jnanamayam tapaha iti shrutehe. So he quotes from Shruti. Yasya jnanamayam tapaha. Aishwaryam pratapaha va tapaha mahat asyeti va mahatapaha. So what more, shade of meaning he gives. Generally, tapas means religious disciplines, right? And which involves a lot of willpower, effort, and lot of self-denial also. That is what is tapas. For example, excuse me. Vak tapas. Suppose somebody wants to practice vak tapas. Very difficult tapas. Every movement, vak tapas, the first thing is your thought, your speech, and your action have to be aligned. So that is the first stage of any tapas for that matter. Why only vak tapas? Then when vak tapas comes, whatever you are speaking, and whenever we speak, it is always preceded by a thought in the mind. So that connection we have to establish. And then make sure that whatever we speak is satyam bhruyat priyam bhruyat. Na bhruyat satyam apriyam. It should be pleasant. It should be the truth. And if we find, our mind tells you that if you are uttering this word, it could either be unpleasant for the person who is hearing, or it could be untruth also. Na bhruyat, keep quiet, silence, maunam. All these rules are there. So the vak tapas itself is denying yourself your ability to speak freely. Whatever comes to my mind, I say. Many people take very big pride in saying it. Whatever comes to my mind, I say, irrespective of how it is going to affect the other people. So the vak tapas is a very difficult thing, and there is only one part of the entire tapas disciplines, religious disciplines, that we have to follow. Even vratams are all tapas only. Ekadashi vratam. Some people take nirjala vratam, morning till evening, they will not even sip a drop of water. Requires tremendous amount of willpower and stamina to withstand that. The stomach, which is actually used to 3 times feeding or 4 times feeding, will keep demanding food. Where is my food? Because stomach doesn't know there is tapas vratam going on, isn't it? So you will have to tell the stomach, be prepared for this, my dear. Tomorrow is Ekadashi. Another tapas. So there are tapas in general means all these religious disciplines. And many people do these tapas, they follow these disciplines for achieving something, for some purpose, some result and all that. And especially when we are doing this vratam, this tapas and all that, one thing is very, very important, which is what? It should be done with Bhagavan in our mind. You can't say, I am going to sit before a television set and I am going to watch a horror movie, and for 3 hours, I don't want anybody to speak to me. I'm not going to speak to anybody. That is not tapas. All that horror movie is going in your mind. Tapas is you are, with Bhagavan during that period. That is why this Ekadashi and all, they called Upavasa. Upavasa means what? Sitting near, being present near, residing near. Upavasa. Near whom? Near Bhagavan. So the whole idea is, while these vratams and all are very useful for the maintenance of our physical body, both external and internal organs, it's a sort of, in factories and all, they one day in a month or something, they shut down everything for maintenance purposes. The same thing we have to do. The Shastras tell us to do it twice a month. Every Ekadashi day, do a shutdown, partial or total shutdown. But during that time, you have to manage your thoughts also. Not eating and whole day thinking, oh my God, I'm feeling hungry. When will I get food? I have seen some people who don't eat in the morning. One time they have vratam. They will be waiting for evening to rush and eat as much as possible. In fact, especially when I was in Kuwait, I have seen during this Ramadan month, the people who follow the Islamic religion, they don't eat from sunset to sunrise to sunset. They don't eat. That is the fasting for 1 month. They keep the fasting. But you should see them in the evening as the sun is setting, rushing for food. And not only evening, because they cannot eat after sunrise, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, they will wake up and eat fully, they will eat. And then they will go to sleep. So that they don't feel hungry and they don't need to eat. All these dramas people do without actually understanding what is the purpose of all these things. So any vratam, any tapas is to do both with the body and mind. It is trying to regulate the entire body-mind complex. That is what is tapas. Okay. But here, when we are talking about tapas, he is Mahatapaha means what? Bhagavan does not need to do any tapas, because he is Purnaha. So why should Bhagavan do any tapas and why he should be called Mahatapaha is the question. So that is why the word tapas has to be interpreted differently here and not in the normal, our religious discipline sense rather. And that's a reason why Adi Shankara brings the different meaning of Jnanam as tapas. And he has got the support of Shruti also for that. Okay. So here tapas means knowledge. Taittiriya Upanishad says, Satapo tapyata, right? Satapas taptva idam sarvam asrijata. So Satapo tapyata, he first gained knowledge. Who? Brahman, Purusha, Ishvara. Tapas taptva, through this gaining of this knowledge, he created this entire world. Idam sarvam asrijata. Everything here he created. This is Taittiriya Upanishad. So, for any creator, what is the first thing required is the knowledge of what he is going to create. isn't it? A carpenter needs to know how to create. He has to have the knowledge of creation of the various furnitures. Similarly, a sculptor needs to have the knowledge of the form. What are all the nuances that in the rock he is going to sculpt, remove all the extra things so that final form is there. So for any creation, knowledge is the first thing that is required. And that is why Taittiriya Upanishad also talks tapas in the sense of knowledge. Satapo tapyata. So Bhagavan created tapas, means he gained knowledge and then created all these things. And Chandogya Upanishad also talked with tad aikshata. Before creation, he saw. Saw means he gained knowledge. Because we use even in English, this expression, do you see my point? So what does that mean? Do you understand what I am saying? Are you gaining the knowledge of what I am giving you? For that we use the word see. Do you see my point? Or do you see what I am saying? So this aikshata, seeing, also has got a meaning of understanding, gaining knowledge. Okay. And even in the Taittiriya Upanishad itself, this tapas is used in the third Valli, Bhrigu Valli. So Bhrigu, the son of Varuna, wanted to know what is Brahman. That is the subject matter of the Bhrigu Valli, third Valli. Okay. So he went to his father and told him, please teach me what is Brahman. And the father gave him a definition and told him, you work on this with the help of tapas. So having heard that, Bhrigu went and contemplated on what he was taught and came to some conclusion. I'm not going into the details because Bhrigu Valli, very beautiful story is there. So he comes to the father and says, oh, I have understood Brahman. This is Brahman. Father says, no, you have not understood it properly. This is Brahman. Go and contemplate again. Do tapas again. So like that he goes on doing, and finally he understands what Brahman is. Of course, the story also is highlighting the fact that it's not very easy to understand Brahman, to gain knowledge of Brahman. So that is also being highlighted in the story, right? So the word tapas is used there repeatedly in the meaning of contemplation. Contemplation means what? Analyzing what is there. That is, refining your knowledge is contemplation, basically. Therefore, with all the basis of all these things, Adi Shankara takes the meaning of word tapas as knowledge. That is knowledge and the means to gain knowledge, which is also the contemplation or inquiry, which is tapas. Okay. Because any inquiry, any contemplation eventually converts into knowledge only. It is eventually results in knowledge only. Okay. And that is why here again he brings his Mundaka Upanishad. Yasya Jnanamayam Tapaha. His tapas is in the form of knowledge, says Mundaka Upanishad. So with all these things, Adi Shankara interprets the word tapas as knowledge. And again, at the level of Ishvara, what is tapas? Srijya Vishaya Jnanam is tapas. As I told you, the knowledge to create. The knowledge with reference to what is to be created. Okay. Ishvara visualizes all this entire cosmos before creation. and then he starts creating. And that is what is called here Mahat Tapaha, Mahat Jnanam. Is the whole the Jnanam, every small detail he has to think about. Because it is not only creation, but the whole creation has to be sustained. From the beginning of one kalpa to the pralayam, unmanifest has to become manifest. Every small detail has to be paid attention to. So for that, that knowledge, great knowledge is required. That is why it's called Mahatapa. Okay. Because what happens is, it is not an exact replica of the what has gone into unmanifest. You know why? There is always a change. Because the unmanifest becomes manifest for what purpose? For the jivas to exhaust their karma phala. This is, we must understand. So what happens during one kalpa or even during one yuga, the jivas keep on collecting more and more punya and papa. On the one hand, they will be exhausting the previous punya papa collected in the previous kalpa or whatever it is, but they will be exhausting, and on the other hand, they will be collecting new punya papa. So at the end of this kalpa, when the manifest universe becomes unmanifest, the karmas which the jivas will carry into the unmanifest form will be different from the karmas those jivas carried into unmanifest form at the end of the previous kalpa. Because there is a fresh set of karmas are there. Now these fresh set of karmas have to be exhausted by the jivas when the next creation takes place. And the next creation has to be designed in such a way, taking into account the karmas of every jiva, which karmas all will, need to be exhausted, will mature and will need to be exhausted by the respective jivas. So the conditions conducive for the exhaustion of those karmas have to be created. So all these details have to be, built into this creation. It is not just unmanifest becoming manifest and manifest becoming. At the broad level, we can say unmanifest becomes manifest and manifest becomes unmanifest. But there is a difference in this manifestation itself compared to the previous manifestations, because there has been a change in the. And when jivas are actually taking on the karma, adding karmas to their karma account, Ishvara has no control over it. Ishvara has control only for exhaustion of the karmas, not control over addition of the karmas, because jivas are using their free will for that purpose. Ishvara gave the free will to jivas. Use the free will and do whatever you want to do. So by doing all these, the jivas pose a challenge to Ishvara also, that next time I am going to be born, you must create circumstances conducive for me to exhaust this punya karma or papa karma. So that is why there is no, when the manifestation takes place from unmanifest state, it is not the same. It is a new. But of course, what goes to unmanifest is the jivas with the accumulated karmas. So when the manifestation takes place, it takes place with those karmas only rather. But the manifestation circumstances, the scenario that needs to be built should be such that these new set of karmas are, it's possible to exhaust them. So this is what it is. We have to understand all these things when we are talking about creation. Okay. And for that, Mahat Jnanam is required on the part of Ishvara. So he is Sarvagya. He is also called Sarvagya, right? All knowledge is resides with Ishvara of the entire creation. Okay. So this tapas, contemplation as though, can say, of the previous creation by Ishvara is Mahat. It's great. Because what is to be created also is Mahat. It is great, the entire cosmos. So because of his Mahat tapas, his Mahat knowledge, Mahat contemplation, he is called Mahatapaha. And the word tapas, it's from the root tapa Aishwarye. And also there is another meaning, tapa santape. Both meanings are there. Okay. So he is Aishwarya. We have seen Ishvara means Aishwarya is Ishwarasya bhava Aishwaryam, right? Overlordship rather. And his overlordship is great and uninhibited. His pratapa, his strength, his power, Sarva Shaktiman, are so great that adharmis cannot stand against him. And that whole Puranas are all about the stories of all adharmis getting destroyed by Ishwar, Bhagavan in various forms. Okay. Good. So we still have got some time. So we will start the next sloka. Sarvaga sarva vidbhanuho Vishwakseno janardhanaha Vedo veda vidavyango Vedango veda vidkavihi. So again, this shloka has got 10 namas. Sarvagaha, Sarvavid Bhanuhu, Vishwaksenaha, Janardhanaha, Vedaha, Vedavit, Avyangaha, Vedangaha, Vedavit, Kavihi. The word Vedavit comes twice. And Adi Shankara gives different meanings. We will see all those. So the first is Sarvagaha. The one who is all pervasive. This is the meaning, we have seen it in different words. Sarvatra gacchati iti sarvagaha. Karanatvena vyaptatvat sarvatra. A very simple explanation. Karanatvena sarvatra vyapatvat. Ishvara, he is the material cause, we have seen, of this entire Jagat, and in that way he pervades the entire Jagat. He is all pervasive. Therefore, sarvatra gacchati. He goes everywhere. I mean, goes is a here within inverted commas. He doesn't go anywhere. He is just present everywhere. Okay. And that is why he is Sarvaga. So being all pervasive, being not limited by space and time, both ways we can take, right? He is Sarvagaha and he is available as Pratyak Atma, the inner self, for recognition by everybody. Okay. So he is Pratyak Atma as well as outside also. Both ways he is there. That is Sarvagaha. Then Sarvavid Bhanuhu. Bhanu is Bhadatu, means to brighten, to lighten. The one who knows all, Sarvavit, the one who knows all, and Sarva Bhanuhu, lights up everything. That is Sarvavid Bhanu. So two meanings are there. Sarvam veti vindate iti va sarvavit. Bhati iti bhanuhu. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam iti shrutehe. quoting from Suti. Kathopanishad is there. Mundakopanishad is there. Sarvavid cha asau bhanuhu cha iti sarvavid bhanu. Again, karmadharaya he uses. So there are two words used in the Shastra, Sarvajnaha and Sarvavit. Even though grammatically both the words have got the same meaning, they are usually used differently, technically in different meanings, different senses. When we say Sarvam Brahma, everything is Brahman. And if you know Brahman, then if you know that I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, then there is no other Brahman. Because Brahman is nothing other than you. So the one who knows himself as Brahman, who is Sarva, he is called Sarvajnaha. Because Brahman is Sarva. So Sarvam Janati iti Sarvajnaha. So one who knows Brahman as himself, and Brahman is Sarva, so he is become Sarvajnaha. The Lord is also called Sarvajnaha because he knows he is Brahman. The Jiva who knows I am Brahman is also Sarvajnaha. Then what is the difference between Jiva and Ishvara? At the maximum, we can say Ishvara knows everything in detail. Ishvara Sarvajnatvam is going into all details because he knows about all the Jivas. Whereas Jiva Sarvajnatvam knows that everything is Sarvam in general, everything is Brahman, and I am that Brahman, but may not know all the details. Individual details which Ishvara knows. Ishvara being Sarvajna has got access to the karma account of all the Jivas. All those karma account Ishvara has got access. Password is there with Ishvara. Whereas a Jiva Sarvajna does not have that access to the karma details of all the other Jivas. The password is not given. This is the difference between Ishvara Sarvajnatvam and Jiva Sarvajnatvam. At the general top level, both are one and the same only. Okay. Even the things that Jiva may know, he may not know all the details of all those things. Okay, so that is another aspect of it. So, what the difference is, Ishvara not only knows everything in detail, like he knows everything and he knows everything in minutest detail. So he is called both Sarvajna and Sarvavit. So Jiva cannot be called Sarvavit because he does not know all the details. So Ishvara is both Sarvajna and Sarvavit, whereas a Jiva who knows Aham Brahmasmi, who has understood Aham Brahmasmi, can be called Sarvajnaha, but not a Sarvavit. Okay, so we will stop here, then continue with this Sarvam Veti iti Sarvavit. So we will continue with that. Okay, I'll say the prayers. Om Purnamada Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Thank you all very much.
Namaste Guruji.
Namaste.
Namaskaram Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji.
Namaskaram, Mama. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaskaram Guruji.
Namaskaram.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you very much.
Namaskar, Raghuji. Thank you.
Namaskaram. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.
Namaskaram. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions for today? No questions. So shall we close the session if there are no questions?
Thank you very much.
Okay, Hari Om. Thank you very much. See you next Sunday.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you.